down, please. Listen to me. Once upon a time... Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Or I should say, hello, teachers. We are a group of 5 composed by Arianna, Marta, Aina, Anais, and me, Carolina. And we are studying a teaching degree in Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona. In one of these subjects, we were asked to design a task-based language learning sequence, and that's what we are going to explain now. Here, you can see the template with all the necessary information to implement the sequence we have designed. First of all, we are going to contextualize it. This task-based language sequence has been designed to take place during 2 sessions, 1 hour each one, in a group of 12 years old students who attend a Catalan school. You may be wondering why I'm dressed like this. You have to know that this sequence topic is about the Chinese version of the Cinderella folk tale. You maybe know the Cinderella folk tale, yes? And we have chosen this topic because it develops not only writing, speaking, listening and reading skills, but also a cultural dimension. This task cycle will be part of a learning unit that is about the different cultures of the world. This decision has been made because we believe that it's important for the students to know and respect other cultures. This way, they develop tolerance and empathy. Moreover, the national curriculum has a plurilingualism and multicultural dimension. As you can see, there are a lot of dimensions and competencies from the national curriculum to be taught and assessed in this cycle. So we develop 4 dimensions. The oral one, the reading one, the writing one, the reading one, and the literary one. So, in relation to content objectives for this task cycle, we expect that children previously know the Cinderella fairy tale, as it is a classic story in our culture.
Oh, hello, you caught me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Aina Vilardaga, and we are going to talk about contents, learning objectives, main language, subproducts, assessment, resources, and materials that are worked or used in our task-based language learning sequence. So let's start. First of all, we are going to talk about contents. We need to differentiate between key contents and specific contents for ciclo superior students. Both of them are from the national curriculum. As you have just seen a few seconds before in the picture, there are a lot of key contents, but we want to stand out some of them. For example, oral fluidity, reading out loud, or rewriting of literary text. Now, if we focus on specific contents for ciclo superior students, we develop oral communication, reading comprehension, written expression, knowledge of the functioning of the language and its learning, and literary education. Now we are going to talk about the learning objectives. The learning objectives to be thought and assessed in this sequence are develop, reading, writing, listening, and speaking skill. Know the Chinese version of Cinderella. Practice the use of present simple and practice the use of adjectives. And last but not least, work cooperatively. Now we are going to talk about the main language. Regarding to the main language to be taught and assessed in this teaching unit, on the one hand, students have to practice the structure of the present of verb to be, including affirmative sentences, negative sentences, questions, and answers. On the other hand, a student has to practice the use of adjectives. Now, we are going to talk about the subproducts. In this teaching unit, there is a subproduct and a final product. The subproduct is a script, and the final one is a theater play performed by the whole class. Now we are going to focus on this assessment. To assess this sequence, the teacher will need to take field notes, and she will also need to fill observation grid like this. Moreover, students will also have to fill a self-assessment like this. Later on, my classmate will tell you all the details of the observation grid and the self-assessment file. Finally, we are going to talk about resources and materials. In this unit, a video of the Chinese Cinderella folk tale reading about the same topic, and again are needed. Now we are going to present our teaching unit. It's composed by a pre-task, 2 activities of the task cycle, and finally a post-task. So let's see it!
I am Marta Delgado and I am going to talk about the pre-task. The pre-task that we have designed lasts about 20 minutes. Here we pretend to activate the students' knowledge. And you may be asking, how can we do that? Well, in our task cycle, the teacher starts asking the students what do they know about the Cinderella folk tale. We expect them to have a lot of ideas about Cinderella since it is a classic story in our culture. I mean, we have a lot of different movies of Cinderella. We have so many different books. I mean, who doesn't know the story of Cinderella, right? Also, the teacher will ask the students if they know any different version of the Cinderella folk tale from another culture. As you should know, it is not rare to see nowadays a lot of cultural diversity in the classrooms. So maybe if there are students from another country in class, one of them, or some of them, or even most of them can surprise the teacher with an answer about a different version of the Cinderella folk tale. And it can explain to the rest of the class. Spanish students are less likely to know a different version of Cinderella folk tale. But it can happen if, for example, they have foreign friends, or if they have read some information on this topic. Who knows? You never know. It is important to know that with these questions we promote values of respect and appreciation toward other cultures around the world. After all these questions, used to activate students' knowledge, students will watch a video about the Chinese version of the Cinderella folk tale. You should know that in this version, the main character is not called Cinderella. It's actually called Ye Shen. So, we can say that the students will watch the Ye Shen story and in English, of course. For the viewing of this video, it will be necessary to have a computer with internet access in class, so that the teacher can play the video in the YouTube. It will also be necessary to have a projector in class that can facilitate the viewing of the video to the whole group. And also, it is important that the students pay attention to the video, because later they will do another activities that are related to this story. So, it's a video.
She was as beautiful as a heavenly being, and the king knew that he had found his love.
Students, after the viewing of the video, will discuss about the plot's story, what are the characters, for example, the king or the stepmother, and what are the differences between the Chinese version of the Cinderella folk tale and the European version. For example, in the European version, Cinderella has got two stepsisters, while in the Chinese version, Ye Shen has got only one stepsister. It is important that during the discussion, students respect the other turns to speak. Otherwise, they wouldn't listen to the ideas of the other students, and the class will become chaos. The teacher, during the discussion too, can take field notes as a way of assessing. So, the objectives of the pre-task are 1. To develop listening skills, for example, through the video. 2. To introduce the Chinese version of the Cinderella folktale. Now you know that it's called the Ye Shen story. The last one is to spot the differences between the Chinese version of the Cinderella folktale and the European version. As you see, there's interaction between the teacher and students. For example, when the teacher asks them questions about Cinderella. And there is also interaction between students, especially in the discussion part. And I think that's all about the pre-task.
Hi, it's Anais. I'm going to talk about the task cycle. We have two tasks, two activities. In the first activity, students play the Who Am I game. Maybe you don't know what this game is about, so I'm going to explain it. Each student has a tape around their head with a different picture of a character of the story. So, like me, like this. We have 6 different characters. Ye Shen, the fish, the nobleman, Jin Li, the stepmother, and the king. So they have to move freely around the class, and when they meet a classmate, they have to ask one question that can be answered by yes or by no to try to discover what character they are. The idea is that you can only ask one question, so you have to interact with different classmates to discover who you are. This activity will last about 20 minutes, and during the activity the teacher fills an observation grid that you can see right now in the screen. The objectives of this first activity are 4. Practice the use of the verb to be, practice the use of adjectives, get to know the main characters, and of course, develop speaking skills. And that's all I have to say about the activity 1. So I think this is not necessary anymore. Okay, activity 2. In activity 2, the teacher divides the class in 6 groups, and each group is given the first scene of a play that is based on the Chinese version of the Cinderella folktale. So first they have to read it in order to contextualize the story, and then the teacher gives a different scene from 2nd to 7th to each group, and they have to write. They have to fill the gaps with one word or more than one word that they deem appropriate. and they have also to write some sentences that are missing in order to complete the story. So again, you can see the scenes in the screen right now. If they don't know the meaning of one word or they don't know how to write it, they can use a dictionary. And also the teacher during the activity goes around the class, goes around the groups, the different groups, and checks that the answers are correct. And she can also take field notes. Well, after that, each group has to read their scene in front of the rest of the class, and at the end, the students have to choose one character to represent on the play, on the post-task activity. And well, about the interaction, we can see that first they work in groups of 6, so they interact with themselves, and then they talk, they read in front of the rest of the class. This activity will last about 20 minutes.
Hello guys, my name is Eliana and now I will be explaining our post-task activity of our teaching unit. So, in this activity, children during the first 15 minutes will rehearse in groups the part of the script that have been working in task number 2. After that, they will represent all the Chinese version of the Cinderella folktale in class. So, this activity will last about 1 hour. Oh, as you can see, in relation to interaction, children will work in groups, the same groups as task number 2. And talking now about assessment, we have created an observation grid for the teacher. This observation grid will be completed while students are acting their theater play. So now you will see in the screen this observation grid. As you have seen in the screen, the teacher expects that pupils have a correct pronunciation, a correct intonation, that they memorize a short text, but also that they have a correct non-verbal expression. With that, the teacher assesses with an excellent, good, satisfactory, or developing. And finally, each student will fill out a self-assessment file about their learning in our task cycle. So now you will observe the observation grid that we have also created. This self-assessment is focused more on behavior, but not only during the theater play, but also during all the teaching unit that they have been done. So each student in this grid, they have to mark if they strongly disagree or not with the assessment criteria. And with that, our teaching unit is presented. In conclusion, we can say that with the activities of our teaching unit, children can improve their English skills, the listening, writing, reading, and speaking. In addition, as it is based in a traditional tale, we can say that it deals with culture. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and we hope you like our teaching unit. And they live happily ever after. That's all, guys.